to show you the add-ons that I use, why I'm using them, and you know, I think we have a number of people in the guild that could benefit from having more knowledge, easy access to the information they need to make improvements, whether it's boss mechanics or rotation or just general knowledge of what's going on. Here's what I use to help me out to the best of my ability. Anchor keystones, that's for running mythic keystones, dungeons, to track that stuff. Auctionators, the watered down version auctioneer. DBM or bigwigs, that's the first must-have for raiding. Whichever one's your preference, I just always use DBM. I use LVUI as my UI. That is not something that you get from Curse. So if you go to tukui.org, tukui.org, under UIs, LVUI, download, just download the zip over here, and you go copy and paste it into your add-on bin, both folder. I do have, however, by the way, this is the Curse client. I don't know if you're all aware that you can have a program on your computer that manages all of your add-ons and make sure you have the latest updates on them. So Curse client, LVUI Shadow and Light is an add-on for LVUI that does some pretty cool stuff. So that's actually offered through Curse. They update it there. I'm not sure why the main LVUI interface isn't on Curse. Xorcist Raid Tools is what we just started using. That's super important for all of you to have, whether you like the information or not. We need that information about what cooldowns are currently available and who's using what. Garrison Mission Manager is the efficient way to be able to run your order hall missions. OmniCC, it's a good way to know when abilities are coming off cooldown. Pawn is how you can manage your gear, like being able to determine what is an upgrade or not for your class and spec. Personal Loot Helper, that's the thing you see Fancher and I spamming during raids that tells whether or not something that dropped is an upgrade for somebody else. SCADA or Recounts, that's your damage meter, healing meter, meters for whatever you want to track. I prefer SCADA just for the look and the fact that you can get multiple instances, multiple windows. TrueFeed GCD is a way to know what your most recent abilities that you've used are, but that's not super important. The reason I got it is actually so when I'm running 5-mans, I can see when interrupts are going off and stuff like that. Weak auras is something everybody uses. I just started using it recently, so I'm a total noob when it comes to setting those up. But I'll show you the main one that I use that I stole. And World Quest Tracker, I think everybody uses at this point, but I'll just show you really quick in case some of you don't have it. So the first thing you'll see probably is my LVUI. LVUI/LVUI. The default's actually really nice. However, I will post to Discord my import string, which you would just go to /LVUI profiles, import a profile, copy my string, paste it here, hit import now and save, and then it'll just immediately pull up like this. What will require some tweaking is you'll inevitably have your abilities on different bars, so you will need to find out where those are by going into the action bar section and enabling or disabling ones that you want to use. I personally, this is the first tip I've got for you all, I think it's immensely helpful to have the abilities that are a key part of your rotation, although I kind of went against that and put Binding Shot here, but I use Binding Shot a lot for it's my only CC at this point. Knowing where you're currently at in your rotation, having that easily visible and separated out from all the other clutter you got going on is immensely important, in my opinion. Also knowing what your health and your target's health and what your target's currently doing is also immensely important. I have my target's cast bar, which is currently me, above, separated out and above over there. So that's actually the one right here. The right above the abilities is it's my cast bar. So that's always visible for when I'm casting stuff. The one that's up there is for my enemies, so I'm well aware of what's coming. The other, with Deadly Boss mods, if you go into Options, Bar Setup, Move Me, the small one over here is stuff that's a ways off that you don't really need to know immediately. Might be important for like healers and tanks to know, like, oh, in like 20 seconds I need to make sure X ability is off cooldown. But the thing in the center of the screen is always going to be the stuff that's about to go off, like less than 10 seconds. So I like to have that right above my character so I know, like, oh crap, this is about to happen. So you can move those around to your liking. That's really the only customization I did besides changing spoken alerts, which I've changed mine to some of the Overwatch folks because I think that's fun. These are my SCADA things for damage and healing. You can actually, change them to whatever you want. I just like to keep track of those things, and I'll frequently check on, oh, who took the most damage from a specific ability, or, who died and how they died and whatnot. If I need real-time information, that's how I pull that up. This is a part of Xor's raid tools. It's just a bar down here for placing markers, doing a ready check, pulling. Can't remember if I showed this yet, but if you go to /LBY, the toggle anchors is how you place everything on your screen. So this is where I moved everything around. So I got my boss health bars, that target cast bar I mentioned. Not vehicle, but it's the boss buttons. All that good stuff can be moved around and resized there. If you ever want to, you will need to bind your keys. You go into keybind mode, and then you just hover over things. It'll tell you what it currently is, if it is anything. No binding set there. I have that as just a clicker. But you just hover over it. If you want to unbind a key, you just hover over it and hit escape, and then hit the button you do want it to be. Part of LBY Shadow and Light is the Armory import, so I can see, like, if I'm all set on the gear that I have equipped, like the boots I got last night, I haven't socketed yet, so that's appearing there. What else? Pawn, yes. So you can see when I hover over this ring, it's my second best ring for marksmanship. Unfortunately, I don't have any gear to compare the other stuff to, but essentially when you get an item and you hover over it, it will say this is if it doesn't say anything, it's not an upgrade, but if you hover over it and it says this is a 4% upgrade for marksmanship, that's that. And you get those values by either using the default from Mr. Robot, or I pulled mine imported in from the Hunter Icy Veins fella. So let me go quickly into how you can make improvements on your rotation. The first thing that's super easy to do is go to Icy Veins. I'm sure you've heard us mention this a million times, but I'm just going to go over it real quick. Go to Icy Veins, find your class, go to rotation cooldowns and abilities, read through it, know exactly how you're supposed to be playing. But usually, I mean, not usually, but I have found several classes to have like the simplified rotations. So if you ever just want to like shut your brain off and just go through the motions, just know like this is the priority of what will be helping you out the most with your damage. And I've kind of set up my abilities accordingly. So I use the leftmost ability that is currently available. So this just became available. Now it's this. Now it's that. Nothing's available. Okay, I gotta do aim shots. And I'm tracking my focus here in the center, so I'm not dipping too low. Go through the left to right. And that's that. I've got my debuffs here. The Trophy GCD showing abilities going across there. Like I said, that's not really critical. That's more for when I'm running 5-mans, being able to see other people's going on. Rotation from here. Getting your sims, so you can get sim data from here, or just do a Google search to find, like I've got from the Hunter's Icy Veins paste bin. He's got, you know, sims and various import strings for the add-ons that he uses here. That's, I think, all I wanted to go over with UI. It's just like having this stuff at your fingertips, the knowledge of your abilities, your health, what's going on. You can obviously do a lot with Xsource's raid tools to be able to track a shitload of stuff. Like, I'm really excited about being able to track basically everything that's going on. It's just, I like to have that information, but some of you may want to be minimalists and just have only caring about yourself, and that's totally fine. Just make sure that you're doing everything to the best of your ability when it comes to tracking the things that apply to your character's abilities and the boss fights. So DBM and a pretty UI will help out immensely. So that's that.